NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. As we'll see Zach Wilson and the Houston Texans versus Aaron Rodgers and the Baltimore Ravens.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. They'll be led out by their highly decorated quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember watching him in college and seeing a guy that you knew had great potential, but I don't know that anyone knew that we would see how he would blossom as an NFL player who will go down as one of the all-time great quarterbacks. Can make every throw from every angle with terrific mobility, and he knows how to win games, always in contention for a championship.
Here's Mitchell now to kick off the drive. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. To throw, it's Rodgers. Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Good short hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. To throw is Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and the Texans will take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They're led out by a former number 2 overall pick in the draft from BYU, it's Zach Wilson.
And what was really attractive about Zach Wilson coming out of college, coming out of BYU, his ability to create and make plays when many people thought they didn't exist. But what's been even better is watch him improve in the pocket. Able to hit the back foot, make the right read, and the right throws.
First run of the game here for Dameon Pierce. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
from the 34-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 4. Now it's Wilson. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 37 yards.
I guess we got a good idea about what the game plan is for attacking the secondary. No beating around the bush with this crew. His first throw of the game is a deep shot, and it connects. That's a tendency breaker right there because normally you build up to the big shot, but not in this case.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. To throw is Wilson. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Wilson. And now another one thrown incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early, but it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. From the left hash, this from 46. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And it's now 3-0 Texans. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On play action, Rodgers. Now he's free at the 35 and all the way down to the 33-yard line. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. 2-0 after one on EA Sports. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Rodgers again now. Over the middle, complete. It's Johnson. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback? Okay, so the personal foul penalty, and those are some important yards lost right there.
Yeah, it all comes down to discipline, doesn't it? And every team tells us that they coach it, they preach it. In this case, it slipped a little bit.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Throwing is Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Aaron Rodgers taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Ravens have taken the lead. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? But I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Woods, the receiver, in motion left. And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the 1st. On 3rd down, Wilson. That is caught, and he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
How about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
Now Wilson on first down. Toward the sideline, intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Ravens are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. It's a gain of 34.
A gain of 34 yards. And the Ravens first down.
Two minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He finds his target, Beckham. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 12-yard line.
Second and a couple. Throwing now is Rodgers. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And the Ravens are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 1st and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now 1st and goal, expect them to attack right here on this play.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Deontay Johnson from 4 yards out. And the Ravens had 6 to their lead. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Tucker now to add the point after. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Just a 4-play drive that time. And in the end, it was Deontay Johnson's touchdown catch to cap the drive. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Houston's offense taking over again. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Caught by Woods. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Now a second and 10. Now Wilson. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. This will be a 41-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. On first down, Rodgers. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Here's second and 5 now from the 22. Rodgers now to throw. A short throw caught by Andrews.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there. Couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. And that went off the mark. A little late with a throw.
That might be the third down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man,
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And the Texans going to get the football one final time here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Wilson. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively at 2nd down.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. He'll get the hook up there to Woods. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd and 1, Wilson. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by David Ojabo. And the Ravens are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in this second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one. And they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. It's caught by Aguilar. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And, oh, off the crossbar, no good. A sensational effort from that distance, but rejected by the bar. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. for the second half. 14-3 our score as we are back underway on EA Sports. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. The Texans going to take over here to start quarter number 3. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's second down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10 now, Wilson. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That's a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Wilson. This will be complete to Mechie. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They'll start with a run by Mitchell. Henry To'o there on the tackle.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
From the 31, here's a 2nd and 5. Here's Pacheco headed right. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
3rd down and 1. They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with. 2nd and 10 now. Wilson. This will be complete to Mechie. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
4th The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on here to punt it away. And this returnable for Sims. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here comes the Texans now. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. He's got his man. That's Woods on the out route. And they work this well upfield across the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose. And that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Throwing is Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
2nd and 10. Thanks for tagging along with us here from Houston, Texas. Now it's Wilson. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Well, they tried to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. There's Wilson to throw. Looking deep here for Mechie. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. First down, here's Mitchell. There he goes, right side. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
What I continually hear from running backs and offensive linemen is how often they're actually getting together to watch film so they can get in sync with each other, understand blocking patterns better, how a running back likes to cut, what he wants to do. And, boy, it all came together on that one.
That's one where they watch that and say, hey, we did everything we were supposed to do right there.
That looked like the play we drew up and designed. And then we got to see it unfold in real time.
On 1st down, they go back to Mitchell. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston, It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth. Second down and a yard. How about this? They'll try the option. Left side. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so he didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 43. They only needed 1 yard on 3rd down. They get 10 instead by going to the air.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43. Up the middle, here's Mitchell. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 56 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. How about this? They'll try the option. Left side. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. He was trying to clear the way, the big fullback. Instead, he gets a hold.
And you don't see that very often on running plays from those guys because usually they're the lead blocker. Normally, when he gets caught, it's in a passing situation.
Another run with Mitchell. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11. An option give now to Mitchell. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. They run over center with Mitchell. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Justin Tucker now for the Raven field goal try. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. And Tucker, the former Longhorn, puts this one through, and they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. This to the back of the landing zone. He'll return it from the 1. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So now the Texans down by 2 touchdowns. 1:39 to go. It's been a struggle to score all day, and now they need to do it twice here late to have a chance. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Odafe Oweh showing off the pass rush skills.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
On second down, here's Wilson. That's complete to Dell. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Short play like that in this situation this late, that's a win for the defense.
No doubt. I remember something Coach Madden used to talk about all the time. Sometimes you can't just take what the defense gives you. You have to take what you need. And in this case, the offense is taking what the defense is giving them, not what they need.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Steps away to his left. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movement. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to be what we call a flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
On first down, Wilson. Got his man, Dell. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On second down, Wilson. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Jair Alexander. And that one, Charles, is just going to about wrap up what was no doubt a dominating defensive performance.
Yeah, I don't care what team it is. I don't care who you play, whether they're strong offensively or not. Just giving up 3 points in the NFL, that's absolutely a dominant performance and one that they can build on.
And the Ravens taking the field. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. Well, on one side of this, Charles, an impressive victory. On the other, I mean, you think about it, they scored in the first quarter, but then they didn't score in quarters 2, 3, or 4. They're going to have a lot of work to do before stepping back on the field.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting tape to analyze, won't it? Because why did it work in the first quarter but nothing in quarters 2, 3, and 4. So we always talk about adjustments. You don't just wait till halftime. You do it series to series. They'll be working on that in preparation for their next game.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. So long from Houston.
Today, from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, this is the NFL on EA Sports. Mason Rudolph and the Tennessee Titans taking on Jaden Daniels and the Buffalo Bills.
Well, this is one of those games where if you win it, it feels extra special. But to lose a close one like this, Charles, remember where they didn't score any points in the second half, that has to sting a bit more.
Absolutely, and I really think that they're going to spend so much time poring over this game film, trying to figure out where their calls went wrong, how they didn't execute on certain plays. They were so close. Yeah, this one's going to linger for a little while as they try and diagnose this loss.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Titans are winners here as we say so long from Nashville.